So we're back.
I bet you people wonder why we're always laughing at the intro, but they just really don't know all
We're
the
not laughing at
extra
the
stuff
intro. You are laughing at
you
the
be
intro.
doing before we start. Hey, we're back.
This is episode 31.
3, 1.
We listen. We got 31 episodes in the bag. We proud of us.
Yeah.
Tonight we're discussing low self-esteem. We're going to
Mhm.
cover spiritual bypassing
Yes.
and abuse.
Oh, okay. We're going deep tonight, y'all.
Buckle up.
Get your goggles.
Get you some fruit snacks, some goggles, N95 mask.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm on filter tonight.
Oh, okay.
What you say?
All right. All right.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm pulling it closer. You're not blind.
Yes, indeed. Who looks taller, me or her?
Me. Because I'm sitting up straight.
You sitting on that booster seat.
Whatever. Leave me alone.
So, my shirt says currently unavailable.
And mine is just a
Ask me
regular
what
shirt.
mine currently available.
What does currently unavailable mean?
For the boo.
You mess.
They used to call me Crazy Joe. No, they didn't call me Batman. So it's gonna be a good night.
So we quoting movies tonight.
We are.
Okay.
I'll plug my potatoes later.
Okay.
Potato page. So I think tonight is gonna be good.
Is that right?
I think it is.
Tell me why.
Because this conversation really might speak to those who grew up in church or raised in church in their early years.
Okay.
This spiritual bypassing thing that I mentioned is really prevalent in a lot of religious environments. And I think that it has an effect on relationships. And so that's why we're going to bring it up tonight and just kind of comb through it and give some insight to couples, whether they are on the beginning of their journey, in the middle of it, or they got wide receiver numbers. We got quarterback numbers. We're 17 years in.
Okay.
Almost 18. So that's a real good, Steve Young, number 18. So we are, we've been together.
We've been together.
You got the same nose, same hair, same.
I think it's a song to say we go together.
Tell them girls.
We go together.
You are the original Sexy Red.
Okay.
Before we knew Sexy Red was from St. Louis, I met a Sexy Red with freckles from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mine is real. It ain't dyed.
Okay.
Let's just make that announcement. It ain't a wig. It's just thick red hair.
Because I have 4.
And we got 2. Really?
I know it's not a wig. Didn't I tell you I was up here? Didn't I tell you to get your mask?
Welcome to tonight's show, y'all.
I tell you, every episode we going higher and higher.
Higher and higher. Okay.
So 31 episodes in, if you ain't got used to it by now, I don't know what to tell you.
If you are new to our page,
say that.
Like and follow us. Go back and watch some of the previous episodes so you understand why he is unfiltered now.
Yes, it's a new me. I'm 2.0. I told y'all last episode, if you've been through anything that didn't kill you but made you better, you got to put greater in front of your name.
Okay.
So we don't have all the answers.
No.
We do this as our contribution to those who are in relationships that we made some mistakes.
Absolutely. We made several mistakes.
Years
more than we can count.
Still undoing some mistakes that we made.
And still learning.
And growing. And evolving individually and as a couple.
That's right.
And we got married in our 20s.
Yeah, I was 21.
We're getting ready to cross over into 40.
Into 40.
Shorty.
Well, you gonna cross over into 40. I still got one more year and I'm gonna ride it out. I'm just about to be 39 in November.
If there's no action going on, I fall asleep by 10. Like I gotta be stimulated. I gotta be watching something. You gotta be around.
Don't even let him tell y'all that, because baby, stuff be watching him. Talking about you gotta be stimulated. It be all kind of stuff on you. If you are ready to go to bed, he is the type of person, y'all. We can have company actively at our house. If he gets sleepy, he is gonna get up, walk, go to his room, and go to bed.
That's how you know we were around family.
They be like, where did John go? I'm like, oh, he went to bed. They like, really? Oh, let me go let y'all go to bed then. I'm
gonna
like,
tell my company what Matilda's mama told her. There's fish sticks in the oven. So yeah, things are changing.
Yeah.
As we are coming into 40. And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Time is really moving. So I think that it's important. Here we go. This is a segue. I'm in my text now. I really think that everybody, because life is so short.
Right.
You blink your eyes and your kids are in diapers. You blink your eyes.
Man, they teenagers, y'all. We got teenagers.
You blink again, they're ready to drive.
Man.
So I understand now why parents cry at graduation and weddings, and
we do have a kid that's about
to, you know how many times I've lost my glasses, I've lost my keys, I've lost my phone, never lost my kids.
That's good.
Man,
that means you up with them. That means you've been doing good as a parent.
Man. So
I'm not sure why we compare keys to kids,
because there's something that you can lose.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
But it has been a real learning experience being married.
Absolutely.
So I think that it is so important that you build your relationship, that you address what needs to be addressed within.
Right.
Each person doing that individually, so that you can get to the phase of your relationship where you can enjoy. I don't believe that cussing and fighting and blocking each other's number and going up to the cell phone store and blocking the phone and giving them the EIN. You know how y'all, we've been to that stage. Just the drama that comes with a lot of. Though. I blocked you before.
What? You did? I didn't even know. Yeah, I learned something.
It was do not disturb. Block wasn't prevalent then.
Okay.
Well, it was. Well, I turned the phone off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but everybody who's watching this has just seen, observed a couple or a relationship online, on reality TV, soap operas. That's you telling your age. Soap operas, that there's just an enormous amount of drama. Craig's daddy told Craig, "You stay your ass in this house. You always got some shit going on. You always got something going on."
Okay,
that's what he said.
That is what he said.
So there are couples and just relationships and some family dynamics that just constantly have some bull going on.
Got stuff going on,
and it is so important to understand that because, as we said last episode, even though you're not in that environment anymore, you bring it into your relationship.
That's right.
So the aspect of low self-esteem, is that what I said? Did I say low self-esteem?
You did.
Low self-esteem. Let's talk about it. Do you ever remember a time in your life that your esteem was low, or have you always been confident? Did you come out of the womb just?
No, I did not come out of the womb like this.
All right.
So I really fit into like 2025's generation because I look like I'm a mixed child.
All right.
But I am not a mixed child. Both of my parents are African American.
Yes.
But as a kid, it brought a lot of attention that I did not want from both sectors.
Yeah.
So people would be like, "What color is your hair?" And I would be looking like, "Red?" Like, is it a trick question? I'm saying, like, as young as 5, people were asking me that. "What color is your hair?" And my hair was more vibrant in the color red when I was younger, like my son, or our son, I should say. So that brought a lot of attention that I didn't really want because it made me stand out. It made me be different. I was already very fair-skinned and I had this red hair. Then when I went through puberty, now I got these freckles. So I just look completely different than almost everybody around me. So it just brought this like extra level of attention that I was not asking for. So I found myself like loving people and wanting to be around people. But I also found myself trying to figure out, how can I just fit in? How can I just be like everybody else? Because I don't want to be different because that's giving me too much attention, which I didn't want. I was like, And we moved around so much when I was young. It was like
military.
Yeah, I'm trying to find just, okay, I just want to fit in. I don't want no extra attention. I just want to fit in. I don't want you to be like, "Oh, is that real? Is your dad white? Is your mom white? Those were the first 3 questions I always got when I met somebody new. Is your hair really real?
Mm-hmm.
Did your mom dye your hair? I'm thinking, I don't even know what dye is. What? No.
It's a lie.
So those kind of things.
So you experienced, and that affected your esteem?
Absolutely.
How?
Because I didn't know where I fit in. It's like, I know I'm not white, so I don't fit in with those people. I know my mom is telling me I'm black and all my family looks black, but I don't feel like I fit in with them either. So where do
Ooh.
I belong?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So in your relationships, romantic relationships,
Mm-hmm.
even leading up to ours, how did that play out, that esteem?
I feel like my esteem in that sense just wasn't affirmed because my father wasn't really present and my mom was married multiple times. So I didn't really know how a man was supposed to feel about me or how a man
Ooh.
was supposed to treat me or how a man was supposed to affirm me.
Mm.
And then add on to that abuse. So I'm like, I guess that's
How
what
it
it's
goes.
supposed to be like. I guess that's
It was normalized.
right. Dysfunction was normalized at a very young age.
So you bring up a lot of good points.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it goes with saying that we should stress it again that
Mm-hmm.
the environment that you were raised in,
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
or negative
Mm-hmm.
or just indifferent, that it has an effect
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not in that household anymore.
Yeah.
It still takes a toll on the individuals that grew up in that environment. It's
Yeah.
in their nervous system carries it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a body that talks about your. There's a book that talks about your body keeps the score.
Mm-hmm.
So our body embodies what happened to us, positive or negative. And so when
Yeah.
we come into a new relationship, even though we're not there anymore,
Mm-hmm.
new relationship. Who's this? The philosophy and the dogma and the doctrine that
Mm-hmm.
we were raised under
Yeah.
sometimes peeks its head out. And I think that those are blind spots in our relationships that
Mm-hmm.
we, even in our relationship, that we had to really address
Yeah.
and go back into our history
Exactly.
to really find out that you weren't my problem. I wasn't your problem.
Yeah.
So let's say this, and then we'll jump into what we're gonna deal with tonight.
What about you?
Oh, esteem.
Yeah.
I really feel like, and this is just my own personal estimation, I think we're harder on ourselves than,
Yeah.
but I really feel like I'm late to the game.
Okay.
My mother, single mother, did an amazing job, but I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that it takes a village to raise a child, which I
Yeah.
did have a village, but that piece of my biological father not being in the home,
Mm-hmm.
even in my adulthood, I can still see areas that the providential hand of the Lord has made it work. That I
Yeah.
understand it now. It's not a torment associated with it.
Right.
It serves as my story to
Mm-hmm.
who I'm called to minister to.
Right.
But it really heavily, same thing with you, affected my identity.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that I tolerated.
Yeah.
There are things that I accepted for the sake of feeling accepted
Yeah.
because I didn't have that identity affirmation
Yes.
from my father. And I
That's
think
good.
that even with, I talked to a grown man, a man that's older than me today, and he was sharing his story about how in church
Mm-hmm.
that he had been mishandled by leadership
Yeah.
in his 40s. He just now this year
Mm-hmm.
made the decision to open up to the love of God, to get healing in the areas down through the years. And so
Yeah.
black men particularly, I'm gonna speak for my kind right here, but this can fit all other races, but black men are really hurting. And it really brought me to tears because I didn't realize that men that are older than me are
Mm.
still dealing with
That's
some
good.
very fundamental fathering wounds by
Mm-hmm.
men who were not fathered.
Mm-hmm.
And so this perpetual cycle of handing down pain and
Yeah.
patterns. So
Yeah.
it really takes a couple, it really takes an
Mm-hmm. It
individual
does.
that can find the strength to look within
Mm-hmm.
and to look down their family line and
Mm-hmm.
to say, wait a minute, I'm hurting people.
Yeah.
And it can't be everybody else's fault.
Come on
I've
now.
got to go within to
That's right.
see, why do I keep attracting
Mm-hmm.
stupidity? Why do I keep bringing to me?
Mm-hmm.
Cat Williams said that it's the sting. It's the esteem of yourself.
Lord.
So let's talk this through. I
Okay.
think that many couples that we've come in contact with, we've experienced it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That when you sit down with a husband and a wife, when we sit down with a husband and a wife, or a
Yeah.
wife that the husband is not present, or the wife that the husband is not present, or same gender loving couple, it don't make no difference.
Right.
That we tend to point the gun at what the other individual is or is not doing. Why do we do that? Why, when we're sitting down in front of someone who has marital wisdom or relationship
Okay.
wisdom, why are we pointing the gun? Let me tell you what he
I
did.
think it's just easier for us as humans to see flaws in others than to take the mirror and look at what's broken on the inside of us. Because to acknowledge what's broken in me, that means I also have to be willing to face that pain that created that brokenness in the first place. I'm just saying, it's like, so not only do I have to look at my flaws, I have to look at what caused those flaws. And normally we haven't addressed it. And that's why it's still a flaw, which means there's still a pain associated with looking at that and remembering that and revisiting that.
There's a song by a woman of God, psalmist declared, Deborah Cox, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, Deborah, how he or she, I don't know who she talking about. I'll tell you how they got there. They got there because the thing in us
Attracted it.
when you put your Lord, I wish I had a fishing pole.
Oh,
When you put your pole, when you put that bait on the hook, please hear me what I'm telling you. When you put that bait on the hook and you drop that pole, you drop that line in the water.
Yeah.
Anything that's hungry is gonna bite that line. Now that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is if you are broken, if you are desperate, if you are tired of being alone, then a piece of a man is better than a whole man. A piece of a woman is better than no woman at all. So when you drop that line in the water and a turtle bites it, and a gar bites it, a crawdad bites it, if you're fishing for crappie and a bass bites it, you're going to take whatever's in that water that bit that line, and you're going to try to take it home. You don't know how to clean a gar; it's got all them bones in it. You don't know how to boil that turtle meat. So when we go out into society and we're broken and we find each other out of our deficits without that sound country, without any selection, without any esteem.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
When our esteem is broken, when our esteem is in shambles, we really will accept bull that I'm currently unavailable for, and then complain that the gar has bones in it. Well, if you would have went fishing with somebody who knows the waters, if you would have did your homework before you put your line in the water, then you would have found out that you probably need to deal with catfish that has predominantly one bone. That's what you say here. Or you might need to go to Walmart and get you some of that fillet. Or let your uncle fillet it. So what I'm saying is that when our esteem is fractured, we will accept bull. And then once bull starts bucking in a China, my mama had a curio.
What it's meant to be.
My mama had a China cabinet. So when I started playing football, she said, "Oh, I got nice stuff in here. You take all that bull outside. You got your play clothes and you got your school clothes. These kids don't have play clothes. They play in their school clothes.
Yeah,
and that would have you mad.
It don't though. I just
so we accept it.
Yeah.
We put it in our boat. We take it home and we say, I'm gonna cook for it.
But you know why though?
Why?
Because that's all they think they can catch. So instead of being patient, to be a fisherman, you gotta exercise patience.
Some of you gotta catch and release.
Okay.
I need to take a gummy bear on
Sometimes people sit out there for hours. Listen, I don't like to go fishing for this very reason. I'm not sitting out by water with a whole bunch of bugs and mosquitoes for hours on end. But somebody who really enjoys fishing, they bring in their chair, they bring in water, they bring in snacks because they know that they're going to be there for a while to catch what it is that they came to catch.
Now, listen, let me tell you this. This is so cold-blooded. Okay. We had to do part two. I'm fishing with Scotty and Chris Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday around 11.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon asked Scotty, do you eat what you catch? Scotty says, I only take it home to plan on eating it if I catch enough. If
Mm-hmm.
I only catch one, it's not worth the hassle to clean it. And I'm not going to get full off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So even a fisherman, a
Yeah.
fisherwoman has to know, what am I taking home?
Mm-hmm.
And am I going to give it away?
Yeah. And is
Is
it
this
enough
fish,
to sustain me?
is it enough to come?
Is it gonna meet my need?
I'm going to beat your feet. So even in fishing,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be out there desperate.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Yeah.
I remember my aunts and my mother and my family, they eat crappie. That's their fish.
Okay.
Then it goes bluegill, and then it goes catfish. They
Okay.
love that crappie.
Okay.
So they caught the fish, and I was out there complaining the whole time. We get home, they clean it. They say, you want some fish? I do. And they sit down. You know, that crappie got the tail on it. They how they do their crappie.
Okay.
They cut the head off, scale it, and fillet it, but leave the tail on it. And I said, it's got bones in it. I remember on Color Purple that Fatback choked on the bone. Ha ha! Fatback choked on the. So I remember saying, like, I don't want to die choking on a bone. So I missed out on the fish fry. So the next time they had a catfish, a fish fry, I said, I need y'all to give me some catfish because they ain't got no bone in it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
did they get you catfish?
They did. They loved it. They
Nice.
looked out for your boy. But I really had a paranoia about choking on the bone because I seen that Color Purple episode.
I've never eaten fish with bones in it.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I haven't either. I can't. Besides that day.
Yeah.
So low self-esteem. I think that it is so important to first understand, talk about why fear being present in a relationship is not God.
Well, fear brings about torment, and the Bible talks about love casting out fear. Perfect love, to be exact. So, if you're loving out of the right motive and out of the right place, there shouldn't be torment or fear associated with that. So, even though you're going to be vulnerable in the relationship, or even though you should be vulnerable in the relationship, and even though there's a chance that you may, be hurt along the way, that's just a reality.
I think it's important to face the fear.
Anything you're learning how to do can cause a level of pain. When you learned how to ride a bike, you fell off of it. It didn't feel good to hit the ground, but you wanted to know how to ride that bike, so you kept getting up and trying again. It's the same thing in relationships. I feel like relationships, and not even just romantic relationships, but even platonic relationships, that's the only area as humans that we are so deathly afraid to be hurt.
In relationships?
Yes. Yeah. We drive a car every day.
Okay.
Like we couldn't get in a wreck and be hurt.
When that plane lifts off the ground, you ain't in control.
We fly to go different places. You're not going to not get on that plane if you know it's going to Jamaica. I'm
still going.
Even though there's a chance that we might get hurt.
Let me die on my way to Jamaica.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. We take risk every day and we don't even give it a thought. But in a relationship, it's, I've been hurt once. It's like, well, but that's part of life.
You get naked in front of a stranger, but scared to stand up for a first-time visitor at church.
Ooh. I'm going to let him have it on that note. Really?
We don't drink after people, but.
Oh, okay.
I don't drink. I know where you're. Nah. So, that's a real good point.
All right, y'all.
So, Esteem.
Yeah.
We're going to give you
a few points.
Let's do two. Maybe we'll have one for the road. So you established it. If fear is crippling you to the point of immobilization, question it.
Yeah.
Question it internally, which will then help you to question the issuer of that fear. Because there are people who are staying in relationships that are suffering abuse.
Yeah.
But because they're afraid of God, because of their doctrine, because of their theology, might have a fear-based motive in it. that if I leave, is God going to get me?
Right.
And that is crippling. That does not foster an environment of love and building, because I don't want to be with you. I don't want you to stay with me because I've made you afraid to leave.
Yeah.
That only works for a short period of time. I want you to be with me because you love me and you want to be here.
Absolutely.
You know, want to loving is different than I don't want you to leave me loving. So, oh
Lord, yes, there is a difference.
So like Celie said, he do his business. She said, "Well, Miss C, that sounds like he going to the bathroom on you."
And she said, "That's what it feel like."
What you? So when love ain't in it, you can just feel it. And I want us to speak to an individual who's watching this, that needs to know, okay, what to do about it, or maybe to even confirm you're not crazy. Now, I made mention that I need you to track me on this. There are some people who are in relationships that should not be in them.
That's correct.
There are some relationships that need major readjustment. Some real come to
they
Jesus.
They need remodeling done.
Remodeling. Somebody got to tear it down.
Yeah. Or the house is going to be condemned.
Or 3, you need to be made aware that some hard conversations need to be had.
Yeah.
So when you hear this episode, I think that it is important that we make mention of, we're not saying throw the whole relationship out with the bathwater.
Right.
Although it may need some, you have to take what pill fits for you.
That's true.
So we got 3 areas.
Yeah.
You might need to just get your coat and your hat and leave.
Right. It may need to dissolve.
You may need to remodel.
Yeah. May need just, the kitchen and the bathroom may just need to be redone. But the rest of the house might be okay.
Or hard conversations.
Yeah.
Now,
just a coat of paint.
Just a coat of paint. We need to. I want you to know that what you are doing is some bull.
Yeah.
I peep game. The young people told me on Friday night we call clock and tea.
Okay.
The old school version, church version of clock and tea is reading your mail. I told her before the cameras rolled. She said, "What is reading your mail?" So I said, "That just means calling out the bull." So whether you clock tea, you clock tea, or you read mail, it's a federal offense if you in reality.
Okay.
Or what was it? You're not standing for the bull.
Okay.
You calling it out.
Yeah.
So I want you to deal with number 1. We're going to give you 2.5 identifiers.
Okay.
Now this is really a master class. We ain't gonna give you more than 2.
Yeah, we're gonna slow walk
build you next time.
We're gonna slow walk.
Because we love you. Because freely we receive, freely we give.
That's right.
Next time we charge you for the rest of these.
Okay.
But I want you to address the first one. This is how you can tell that there needs to be some healing in your esteem. Okay. Now, most of us, when you ask a person, I got to tell y'all this story. I think I'm talking too much.
It's okay.
When you ask, so I guess I wanted to be 50-50. I was telling you yesterday, when I process passports, adults don't like their photo.
Yeah, you did say
but
that.
All kids are so geeked.
Yeah.
And I can't get anyone to give me an answer on why that is. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, let me tell you what he said to somebody. He said that adults saw their picture and was like, "Oh my God, can I retake it?" And he said to them, "This is what you look like. You came in looking like this. We don't need to retake the picture. This is you." I think that right. I think the dilemma is people have bought into the narrative that I'm only beautiful if I'm dolled up. I'm only beautiful if I have a filter. I'm only beautiful if I have modifications. Well, when you're taking a passport picture, because they want to make sure criminals is not able to jump countries and all of that, you can't even smile and show your teeth. They want you to look blank face so they can see your anatomy. So if they need to run it through a database.
You better work at my
So if you are not comfortable with your anatomy, if you have not accepted, if you have not fallen in love with who and what God has made you to be, you're going to struggle seeing your own reflection. But I feel like just in general, some people struggle to look at themselves in the mirror. Some people struggle to watch themselves if somebody else takes a picture of them. They're like, oh my God, I don't like that angle. Oh, delete that. What do you hear people say all the time when you take a picture?
Retake it.
Can we redo that? Okay, wait. I need to. Okay, let me do this side. Okay, I don't like that. Let me do this. It's like, but it doesn't matter what side we do. All of that is you.
All of it is you. Every side.
All of that is you. And it takes a level of self-love, self-admiration to be okay with the reflection that you see because it's yours. And that's what the world is seeing anyways.
Jesus said the greatest commandment is that you love God with all your heart, soul, mind.
Yeah.
He said the second commandment is like it, equal in rank.
Yeah.
That you love your neighbor as you love
yourself.
Package deal.
Yeah.
And I have been under the umbrella and the belief that too much self-love ain't good. We talking about
equals arrogance, equals pride.
So really how that translates in our relationships, I'm gonna let you do this point, is we accept and tolerate, I'm not gonna cuss no more, the bull, because we believe that
we have
to stand up for ourselves and to make a decision that has our mental health, our emotional health at an interest, that we're bad for it. And this is why I believe a lot of people are tolerating and not speaking up for themselves, self-advocacy in their relationships because of the fear of being alone. So if you grew up in a Black church setting, being married is like the top tier goal. If you're single, there's something wrong with you in the Black church. Why are you not married? It's something wrong with you. And it's like, wait a minute. First of all, there's not enough men to go around in the Black church for every Black single woman to have her own man.
Ooh.
And so they can't masturbate.
Okay.
So what? And then you don't want them marrying somebody outside of our teaching.
Whoop.
So what is a single Black woman supposed to do?
That's a good question.
What does she do?
Well, this is one of the things that I think is really beautiful about our relationship. You were raised very church and I was not. So that train of thought never even went through my head. I was totally okay with being single and I was living my best life.
Antithesis.
I was living my best life as a single woman, never even planned on being married. I was just about to keep living my good old life. But on this side of it, you are right. People like aspire to it, almost idolize marriage. And it's like, baby, you do know you signing up for a whole bunch of work. And everything that's unhealed in you is about to be under the microscope and exposed. So is this really what you want? Okay, can I just jump on my soapbox for 1 second? Okay, y'all, this is
what kind of soap is it?
You about to find out. Okay. This is a question that I really have for the church, right?
Oh God.
Y'all expect women to be completely chaste and then magically flip a switch when she says I do.
I'm standing on with it with you.
Can you explain to me how exactly is that supposed to happen? You want her to be 100% chaste, not know her own anatomy, definitely not know the man's anatomy. But then when she stands at that altar and says, I do, she's supposed to know exactly how her body works and exactly how his body works. That's so diabolical to me. Listen, if someone has the answer, please post a comment below. I would love to hear your explanation of that.
Now, listen.
But to me, it makes no sense. You're not going to give me the permission to at least know me. And you banning me, you're labeling me. I'm ostracized if I happen to find out what a man's anatomy is.
They're going to sit you down. Oh, yeah. Now, I grew up under that, just don't ask, don't tell sexuality stuff.
Yeah.
So when I got to 7th grade, Susan B. Anthony Middle School, Manhattan, Kansas, they had a class called health class. Now I wasn't paying attention in U.S. history, social studies, mid-math 1, mid-math 2.
Yeah.
But when it came to health class, Miss Fingerson brought out that anatomy, and I said, let me get my pencil. Okay, can you repeat that?
What'd
you
you say
said
again?
that the vagina is
It looks like what? What is this supposed to do?
Now, wait, go back because you got too fast. And the people, I'm asking Miss Finkelson, Erin Finkelson was a teacher. I'm asking her, wait, hold on, slow down. You're going too fast. Can you go back to that first slide? Because I thought that the vulva was the clitoris, and you're saying that the clitoris is here and the vulvas come down the side. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was in the class. I wanted to know about my body because I couldn't find nobody to tell me about what I have between. What's going on?
Because the church is gonna tell you what you can't do,
man.
But they ain't gonna tell you about.
And I got stuff moving in my body in the morning, and then stuff is jumping and blood is flowing. And I need to know what's so. It really crazy. Severely affected my esteem. Yeah. And then religion on top of it had a damnation in the fear of hell, in the fear of the rapture. We're gonna do it tonight. So all of these fears
that affects self-esteem. Because you're unsure. So now we put in two people together, both of which are unsure, or this man is like, oh, I definitely know what to do, and this woman is afraid, or the woman is knowing what to do, and the dude is like, am I gonna measure up? So it's just so layered how society, how religion is really affecting our esteem.
What did I say after we finished making love on our honeymoon night? What was my statement to you? Now, this is, Mark, don't you do it, because this is, y'all think I'm joking. Tell him what I said, Britt. Go ahead. Tell him what I.
He was like, was it good?
I'm like Joe. I want to know. I believe in doing no business.
And I'm confused, though, because you literally were the first man to ever even ask me that question. So I'm like,
I'm a gentleman.
Is this because he wants to make sure he's checking the boxes for my pleasure? Or is this because he's trying to check the boxes of, did I do everything right? Okay, so I'm sitting there like, okay. And you was looking just like that, intently looking. And I'm like, I hope I answer this right. I mean, you was my first saved relationship. So I'm really like, don't fumble on the play.
I was trying to get you draws before we got married. I couldn't do it. That's not the statement I was talking about.
Okay, what's the statement? Oh, that is true. That was the next day. That wasn't right after.
Okay, now.
Oh my God. Now rewind. Okay, so the next day he began saying the statement, and he like kept saying it until we really had a conversation about it. He was like, I can die and go to heaven now. So the first time I'm thinking he's like playing. So I'm like, haha, kiki, whatever. But
sign me up.
No, he literally kept saying it like every week. And then I said, sir, why do you want to die? We just got married. I'm confused. And I think that that's when we really realized, like, although we were both believers in that moment, we had been raised so differently that his end goal was, I just want to get married and have sex legally. And I'm thinking, well, didn't the journey just begin?
On the road.
So why don't you speak to that? Why did you keep saying that you can die now?
Because I've been changed since the Lord has lifted me. I want to be ready when my because
this is his history, y'all.
I'm like, no lie.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get right with the Lord.
Yeah.
So that I can get up on out of here without no sin on my record. Yeah. So me having I'm about to say something so vulgar. Me having my experience with my wife.
You was really gonna say that?
I was.
I mean, I just read your mind. You was really gonna just say that.
Me having sex without condemnation over it.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just end it right here.
While I'm good.
While I'm good with God.
Before I can make any mistakes.
Before I make any more. Come on. What
Jesus, that's sad.
Yeah, don't you do it. Please.
I won't. Okay.
Please don't do it.
That kind of stuff is criable for me because it's really, really
we both
sad
will be on this couch crying.
Yeah.
So this fear that I crash out against this injustice, this is the reason why I cuss on these episodes, because I want those who watch this to know I'm marking what I'm saying. I'm not just cussing just for the sake of cussing. I want to make a point that I am crashing out against this stuff because there are people who have grown up in religious systems and under family doctrines and dogmas that are doing harm to people.
Yeah. Instead of liberating and setting free like it's supposed to.
And so we can't thrive. We can't raise emotionally healthy children.
Right.
with these beliefs pumping and empty because they become big us's.
Yeah.
So, okay, we said this is so good tonight.
It is.
Don't
That's
please,
deep.
because
I'm
if you
not.
cry, I'm gonna cry.
I promise I won't. I'm gonna hold it together.
We'll
But
cry when we get done.
what's sad to me about what you said is that your goal in life was, I need to die before I can make a mistake. And Jesus already died on Calvary
What
for
you
all
said.
of our mistakes. But people don't often speak on that. They want to speak about everything you cannot do and everything that's going to send you to punishment instead of liberating you so you can have life and life more abundantly, which is what the word says. Okay.
So a lot of our arguments,
Yeah.
you're gonna nod to this,
Yeah.
weren't even about what we were arguing about.
Right. Not at all.
They were about the fear that I was carrying.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even about, it was the fear of losing you.
Yeah.
It was the fear of someone taking you. It was the fear of me not being what you needed enough that you would leave. So my biological father left me or didn't come and get me. So when I open up this part of my heart that is love again, the only thing that I can reference is my reference of God.
Yeah.
Is my reference of my biological. So we are a miracle.
We are.
Because we should not.
We shouldn't have made it. We shouldn't
Come
be
on,
together. But we
Marvin,
still here,
still
thriving
here. That's
and loving on
Clark
each other.
Code. That's the red album with the rose.
Grace and mercy. Yeah.
As I look back over my life. So okay, let's do two of these.
Okay.
The first area that you can determine as an assessment personally. Because I think that when we say, do you have low self-esteem? The general response either is to say no because we don't know or to lie.
Yeah.
But let's just do an internal check because I found myself in every one of these at one point in phase of my life.
Okay.
If not now. Number one, I'm gonna let you deal with it. Staying in unhealthy relationships because of the fear of being alone. This just make sure you air out unhealthy because of the fear of being alone.
Okay, so staying in an unhealthy, capital U, capital N, because of fear of being alone. You shouldn't be in any relationship because you're afraid to be alone, first of all. Because 9 times out of 10, it is unhealthy because you entered into it for the wrong reason. So you didn't go into it hoping that it would thrive, hoping that you would receive and you would give. You literally entered into that relationship because either consciously or subconsciously you were saying, I don't want to be alone anymore. Listen, the word says that he'll never leave us nor forsake us. So you wasn't alone in the first place.
Oh, you want to go Babylon?
I have to, because I feel like that narrative that you are alone is already a lie that you're believing.
They want the word on it too.
And that lie and that fear is then pushing you into things that normally are very toxic. And I've been guilty of it. Like, oh, dang, I just want to have my person. I've heard countless women say that. When am I going to have my person? I just want my person. This is my personal belief.
What you say to that?
My personal belief. I do feel like there are people that you would be more compatible with than others. But this notion of my person, my perfect match, that is something that happens when people are willing to commit, grow, and thrive together. It's not like a magic show. You're not going to find a wand and be like, bing, there he is. It just doesn't. So making a laundry list of requirements is just as toxic as accepting and allowing everything.
Ooh, because slow. Hold on, where's the fire? You're running now. Say that again.
Having a laundry list of requirements is just as toxic as accepting and allowing anything, because both of those are birthed out of pain. Both of those came out of pain. A person that has a laundry list of things that they have to give this person themselves is because someone else has caused injuries in all of those areas. Well, I dated this guy and he didn't have a degree, and so I was paying for everything. You chose to pay for everything, baby. He didn't put a gun to your
I
head
need
and
some.
make you
I
do
need some
it.
pearls on. I need to grab something.
Well, I need somebody taller than me because I don't want society to judge me for being with somebody who might be shorter than me, as if a short man can't love you just as deeply and
Some big
passionately as a
things come
tall
in little
man.
packages.
I'm just saying, right? Like, there are big men that will dog you out, and there are small men that will love your socks off. Like, what? So, we have all of these requirements. And I'm speaking mainly to women because I am a woman. So, that's my reference. But we have all of these requirements, we have all of these judgments for people. But this is what really blows my socks off. And I'm telling you, maybe one woman has been able to answer me and actually have a list that represents her list. Most women that have a laundry list of requirements, when I say to them, "Can you tell me what you're bringing to the table, sweetheart?" They get quiet. So, how is it that you've spent countless hours logging everything that a man is supposed to come to the table with, but you spent zero time investing in what you're going to bring to that table? It's so unbalanced. So that's why I'm saying having a laundry list of requirements is just as toxic as someone who's willing to allow anything. They're both unhealthy. Reality is, in a relationship, grace and mercy is required every day. Reality is, in a relationship, you have areas to grow just like he has areas to grow.
Sure, you're right.
The reality is, even if you make a laundry list, baby, you're never going to find it. That is why there are so many singles still out here.
Sure, you're right.
The proof is in the pudding. We like to watch the balloon show, right? The balloon pop show. Every episode, it is completely evident that we are such a superficial culture that we are not willing to give people a honest opportunity, and that we rather lie and dress ourselves up than to be in a real, like, thriving relationship.
Sure, you're right.
When I wake up in the morning, my breath stinks until I brush my teeth, and so does his. That's a reality. When I go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement, it stinks just like yours. That is a reality. So to lie about it, to try to cover it up, to try to act like I'm perfect, that is toxic.
Now, the sooner an individual, let's say you're meeting each other, the sooner you can reveal who you are.
Come on now. Come on.
The less weight you have to live under. So it is best to just accept on how God sees you, how God feels about you, so that it can manifest in your esteem.
Right.
So that you don't have to wonder. We tell our kids all the time, just be you.
Yes.
Be authentically you. Be the
you
strong,
are enough.
Quirky.
Yeah.
So that those who gravitate to you are really there because they know the real you.
Yeah.
And the phonies will fall off.
That's right.
So I love being me.
Yes.
I love being me because it makes those who I'm not called to be in relationship with, it makes them itch.
Yeah. So they stay away. That's right. And that's what we want. If they not your people, if they not your tribe, if they not your community, you want them to stay away. And you don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be mean to make people that don't need to be around you not be around you. You can just be yourself. Because if they don't like who you are, when you're authentic, they will stay away on their own.
I made a connection with a guy today, and I used a phrase that I made up or came up with in my head.
Yeah.
We're talking in conversation. We hadn't talked in years. And he stopped me when I said the phrase. He said, "We need to hook up. We're gonna connect because that phraseology that you used, I just used that phraseology yesterday. I know this is an indication that me and you need to do something together. So if you're afraid to be you, if you're afraid of what they will say, how they will receive you, and so
more than likely you're in an unhealthy relationship. We saying all of that to tell you that if you enter into the relationship under any form of a lie, be it in appearance, emotions, if you lie about keeping your house clean, baby, it's gonna be revealed because you're not gonna be able to sustain it. If you lie about being able to cook, it's going to be revealed because you're not going to be able to sustain it. If you lie about being able to provide for that woman, it's going to be revealed because you're not going to be able to sustain it.
Or if you lie about your divorce ain't final yet.
Ooh, mm.
Still married.
He choosing violence right now, but he right. It's going to be revealed. It's going to come to the surface. At some point, what you are standing on, if it's not the truth, is going to be revealed. And then this is what I don't like, right? So you get with people, you make these false promises to people. When they find out who you really are and they decide that they no longer want to be with you, or you decide that you no longer want to be with them, even though they showed you who they were in the beginning. But you wanted to fantasize about how you could fix them and make them perfect. Because see, that's the other pendulum, right? People have these laundry lists, or people decide that they want to be Mr. and Mrs. Fix It.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get in it and realize, oh, you're a human and you are the way you are because you want to be the way you are. And although I was fantasizing about changing you into this perfect person, it is now revealed that I cannot change you because you are a human with your own will and your own mind and your own decisions.
Just on point number one.
Then you want to say, well, I'm going to divorce you. I'm going to leave you. Well, baby, leave me.
Now, listen, let me tell you what my grandma said when we got to this point, too. Just shout out to Grandma Mary Riles.
Oh, Lord.
She stole it from us. She said she stole from the Lord of the Rings.
Now, listen, you right about it.
That's what she said.
It
hit my spirit the other day when I was outside cutting the grass on a Sunday.
We were sitting at the table talking to her. We had went to go visit her.
I'm going to tell you what she said. You ready?
Yes.
She said, baby, let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. She said, I want you to preach my funeral. She said, when you get up and preach, she said, don't let them do all that kind of crying. And I miss her. She said, they didn't come see me when I was living. But she said, that ain't the thing she said. She said this. She said, baby, everybody wondering ain't lost. I said, Grandma, what you say? She said, I said, everybody that's wondering. In other words, there's some people in the woods that are in the woods because they said, flip society. I want to be in the woods.
I didn't ask you to come and save me. I am where I want to be.
Self, trying to find a friend in the woods.
Come on.
And try to bring them back to civilization. And they jumping out your apartment windows, biting the blinds, smoking weed.
Because they wild and they want to be wild.
They belong in the woods. They was raised by wolves.
But that is a good point. Some people's low self-esteem shows up in, I want to fix you. I'm broken. And instead of fixing me, I'm going to pour all that energy into trying to fix you.
Now, you want to get
vulgar?
But
it backfires.
You want to get vulgar?
Oh, Lord.
I want to get vulgar?
I don't know.
Let's cut the lights on. Let's do after dark this part.
Ooh, no, I'm joking. Oh, Lord.
Now, people say these things and it be a joke, but it come out somebody's heart.
Oh, God.
And it get the likes and the traffic that it does because people can identify.
I'm nervous, y'all.
Be nervous.
Oh, God.
Man said.
Let me clutch my pearls. I ain't got nothing on there, y'all.
I came through a season of my life where all I had was the pipe. So I can lay it real good because that's all I had in my name at a large portion of my adulthood. The hammer was my transportation to put it down on you so I could get a ride. The hammer was my place to live. Like it was, I weaponized my penis.
Okay, so let me translate. So what he's saying is, if you want somebody who can lay the pipe, you need to ask, why are you so good at laying the pipe? If you want somebody who got an ocean flowing, you need to ask, how did you learn how to make that ocean flow like that?
Because they had practice.
Just saying. They learned it before you came around. That's all.
And then they might have self-taught themselves.
But most of the time, they had other teachers. You can't.
As I go to my seat.
Now I do despise this though, right? Because society, like, we make it a trophy. Like, oh yeah, he got that hammer. Oh yeah, she got that ocean. But then we want to also condemn.
Or control it.
Why you got so many numbers under your belt? Or why have you...
We go out, who is she? Why she all? He's a victim.
So the same man... The same man that's enjoying what you got is now insecure about what you got. And it's like, you already knew.
Okay. We just come out of that.
Okay.
I gotta turn the lights off on that because you have to change the rating on this video.
Woo, sorry, y'all. But we are really talking about low self-esteem and how it appears in relationships. And a lot of these things can be avoided. It's not hard.
I told somebody today, you just like these old lame lambs.
Ooh.
And then be upset
because they lame.
They lame lambs. So you I ain't gonna do it. Number 2, this is identifying.
Yeah, oh Lord have mercy.
And not necessarily just staying in relationships, but at least not speaking up. Now there is a time and a place. We're not saying to be reckless, to be always, nagging. But there is a time where you need to say, okay, wait a minute. This is a good time. Tomorrow can't wait.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this because this is eating at me and I can't go to sleep on this.
And speaking up doesn't mean that you nagging.
Come on now. You can write a letter.
You can be gentle, sweet, and kind and be like,
and still stand on business.
We really got to have a conversation.
You overspend.
And we got to have that conversation tonight because I don't want to go to sleep on that.
All right.
And you can say it just like that.
You know what kind of talk that is? That's grown folks.
Like, are you going to tell me?
Okay, so number 2, you did staying in unhealthy relationships because of the fear of being alone.
That's right.
This is a 2-piece. Ignoring confrontation. Here's the caveat. At all costs.
Lord have mercy.
There is an ignorance and an avoiding of confrontation that starts costing you. Now it's cute, depends on your tolerance.
Mighty God.
It can be cool for a week. It can be cool for 2 weeks, but when it starts affecting your health, when your hair starts coming out in the sink, when it starts affecting your performance, when you can't show up for your kids, when it starts messing with your job performance, when it starts deteriorating your relationship with the Father.
Yeah. When it starts spilling over onto everything.
It starts costing too much. I was talking to somebody the other day and I asked them, what brought you to the conclusion that you needed to divorce your ex? And this individual said, it started costing me. It started to chip away at me. And I already knew that this individual was unfaithful. And that wasn't even the end game. I had love, I had grace, I had put something in place that we could walk through it. I had grace and capacity to love that individual. This person said, but on top of it, you're gonna lie to me about it. Now they said that just take the cake. I know you played. But when I give you an opportunity to ask you about it, to be honest about it, then you're going to play me for 2 fools. So you're going to piss on me and then tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
But to lie, to tell me that the piss is rain,
disgusting.
What the betrayal, the betrayal component to
it. You're going to try to convince me.
You're going to try to convince me that it ain't. That's the guy.
When I know.
That's piss light. That ain't gaslight.
Oh Lord, you a trip. But you're right.
I'll say it. I'll add more to it before I take it back. So I thought that was so profound that this individual, because if their esteem had not have been intact, they would still be enduring being urinated on. And accepting that this is rain. Yeah. Have you ever met somebody who they were in a situation that was dysfunctional and you asked them about it and they doubled down on, yes, I know.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, and it's crazy.
Okay, so if you know,
I'd be like, what?
Then you got to get off my phone complaining about it because you are complicit.
Lord have mercy.
My grandpa, that's the last one we're going to do. My grandpa said, you holding it up.
Yeah, you upholding the foolishness.
You
upholding the foolishness. And if you're going to uphold it, that's your business. But don't invite me to the party because I'm not upholding no foolishness. I'm going to call it out.
I'm going to call it out. You don't think I say that when we get out of here? You upholding it. How you going to complain about it? And what the scripture talk about? Strengthening in the hands of evil doers.
Oh, my God. You adding fuel to the fire, and you want me to get in it? No.
I'm putting the fire out, and you at the back of the house pouring gas on the house, in the fire,
adding to it.
Hey,
yeah,
you an accomplice.
Yeah, exactly. Both are at fault.
We talking about relationships.
We are.
Low self-esteem.
Yeah. And these are ways that low self-esteem influences relationships
I
and
didn't been there.
causes them to be unhealthy.
I didn't been there.
Yeah.
But I remember, dang, I don't call all my exes. I remember, and I'm like everybody, I'm not saying this in any of these examples that these individuals who I'm speaking concerning the conversation that they were perfect.
Right.
That the other person didn't have their, it's two
Right.
sides of every story. But I just remember being in romantic relationships, knowing that in my heart, like this ain't forever.
Yeah.
And, when you're raised in church, you ain't supposed to date just to be dating. You're supposed to date to marry.
I didn't know that rule, y'all.
Yeah, you don't be around here just casually dating. You don't
But
give the pearls to the swine.
okay, but let me say this. I think that that's interesting that was a rule. I didn't know it. But I was the type of person I would date somebody, and when I got that feeling, I'd be like, I don't need to be with you. Mm-hmm. And I would always say, even as a teenager, if this is meant to be, it'll come back around. And I really believed that in my heart, that whoever I was supposed to be with, if it was anyone, it was going to come back around. It would come full circle some kind of way. If God was in it and God wanted us to be together, some kind of way we would reconnect, we would rekindle. Who knows how long? Because I didn't have no timeline on it because I wasn't in a rush. So I was like, it might be 30, 40 years down the road.
Didn't any of them come back around?
Some of them tried to.
All right.
But they didn't try to come back around the right way.
Good love.
Okay.
Deserves an encore. Yo, good love. That's the cut right there. Deserve. Running back.
Okay. That's not really where I was going with that, but okay.
Hey, church kids, how were you supposed to engage in romantic relationships if you never had any practice?
Ooh.
Okay. So it just it doesn't make sense.
Or how are you supposed to engage in a romantic relationship and your parents have never taught you what you should look for in a woman or a man, how they're supposed to be treating you, because they didn't have the blueprint, so they couldn't give you the blueprint. But you're magically supposed to make the right decision and get it right.
Put you with a mentor, put you in contact with somebody.
It makes so much sense why my mom was married so many times. She never had the blueprint. How could she succeed?
Well, that's why we on Marriages for Grown Folks.
Listen, because this is why we share. Yes. Come on. What we know, what we messed up doing, what we learned that worked.
I got to tell somebody.
Because there are too many people in relationships that are either unhealthy or the relationship has the potential to be healthy, but you don't have the tools to succeed. And so we're burdened with this. We're really tasked with this because I remember saying early on in our relationship, why do people try to make you think that you're supposed to have this fairy tale relationship? 2 kids and a dog and a white picket fence. Like, I would like to know.
Spiritual bypassing for the churchy folks.
Ooh.
Let me get a definition.
Please, come on, tell us about it.
Then we'll stop.
Tell us about it.
Spiritual bypassing is the use of spiritual ideas, practices, or beliefs to avoid dealing with emotional pain, unresolved trauma,
Lord help us,
psychological wounds, or uncomfortable realities. Let me say it again for somebody who's in the back. Spiritual bypassing is the use of spiritual practices, ideas, beliefs to avoid dealing with emotional pain, unresolved trauma, psychological wounds, or uncomfortable realities. So avoiding responsibility by saying God will work it out. That's an example of spiritual bypassing. Instead of addressing real life issues, suppressing emotions like anger, grief, sadness, by labeling them as unspiritual. So we're just going to praise our way out.
Let me give you an example. How you doing today?
I'm fine. Blessed and highly favored.
Your mama just died yesterday, but you're going to say,
blessed and highly favored. Stand on top of the devil's head. No sad story. Believe in God for gifts and checks and receipts, dividends, lost money found.
But the reality is even Jesus cried. Even Jesus experienced grief. So why are we exempt from it? I'm just saying.
So this is really, as you can tell, passion. because it is a real reality.
Did
You got one more?
did you tell them about forgiveness, the forgiveness piece with the spiritual bypassing?
Mm-mm.
You got to tell them
Which
about
one?
using forgiveness prematurely to
Oh,
avoid conflict or accountability.
this is another
Hmm.
example of
Hmm.
spiritual bypassing in my clothes. Using forgiveness
Hmm.
prematurely to avoid conflict or accountability.
Yeah.
Just forgive and move on.
No acknowledgement, no accountability of, okay, wait, that was wrong. That should not have happened to you. I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm willing to be here and sit with you in this moment as you start the journey of healing, instead of saying, "Oh, just let it go. Just
Mhm.
forgive that. It'll be all right."
Let me give y'all a light example of that. So I cut the food one week of school. And at the beginning of this week, before I started cutting the food, I was acting up. My mom promised to take me to Chuck E. Cheese. So Friday, I had every day the officers
I
calling my
told
mama.
somebody about that earlier today. That is
You telling
hilarious.
my story.
I was. I gave
I
you
get in the
credit.
car on Friday. She picks me up from school, and she said, "How was school?" I said, "School was good, fine, wonderful. Love the Lord."
Not
No,
knowing they done already called and told on your
I
behind.
said, "No, I have sinned." What is it? I've dang, no evil.
I'm
I've
like,
been
I ain't.
saved all day long. No evil have I've been saved all day long. What evil have I done?
You
She's
said that as a
come
kid.
on now,
You're
don't do me
so
like that.
churchy.
So
Lord help you.
we passed by this. We're on the street that Chuck E. Cheese is on, and we're passing by Chuck E. Cheese, and she's not taking the exit. And I said, Charles Entertainment Cheese. That's his real name. Charles Entertainment Cheese. You're passing the exit. She said, you're not going to Chuck E. Cheese. And I had a meltdown. I said, what you mean? What? And she said, I said, you promised. She said, I lied.
Because the reality is, she knew you had been cutting the
Your
fool all week.
behavior. So
It's not going to be rewarded.
I'm
Bad
not. Come on.
behavior. I am not going to reward bad behavior.
You're gonna have to show me another week or 2 weeks, or the next time I feel like taking you to Charles Entertainment Cheese.
You
We'll
better
see then.
have it
And listen,
together.
this goes real. This is old school parody. I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna take you. I just want to see if do right is in your heart.
Ooh.
Yes. I ain't gonna tell you I'm gonna take you Friday because the only thing you're
Well,
gonna do is just mask good behavior
exactly.
because I'm getting to go to Chuck E. Cheese
Right.
this week. No,
I got 5 days.
I want to
Okay.
catch you with your work.
If I can just be good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, then everything will be okay. But you know what's so toxic about that system?
Oh Lord.
We carry that into adulthood.
Yes, sir.
You can tell the kids that were like bred under that, because when trouble comes or when trouble hits, they'll say, okay, if I can just be good for this next week, then this argument will go away. They won't be mad at me no more. Okay, they said they just need quality time. So let me be up under you this week. Okay, you smiling again? You happy again?
Everything is all right.
All right. I'll see you in about a month. And the person you're in a relationship is with, like, why would you think that 7 days was gonna be enough if we supposed to be in a relationship forever?
We were just gonna have good sex over it and then have the conversation after we get done. Like this sex just make it all go away. We got to stop because we got it for days. Listen, we're in the flow.
Okay.
We can do this all night long. This is good to us.
Yeah.
This is needed.
Yeah.
People are dealing with this on some level or have dealt with it on some level.
It's very prevalent.
So
very prevalent.
Fight for your well-being. Stand up for your well-being.
I'm really childish, but when you said fight for your right, I was thinking
That's
to
not.
party.
Oh, why you looking at me like that?
You got to fight.
You. It is just so important to self-advocacy.
That's right. Self-love.
Self-love.
If you don't hear anything else we say, if you learn how to love yourself properly, you will absolutely know how to love others. And all of these things that we're talking about is coming out of broken people that just need healing. That's really, I mean, that if we cut everything else off, at the bottom of it is, if you can learn how to love yourself in a very real and healthy way, then you will automatically know how to love others because they're going to just get the overflow of what you've learned how to do for yourself.
And the precursor to that is receiving the love of the Father.
Right.
Receive the love of the Father. Then it transfers down into your lateral relationship.
That's right.
And so for me, I really had to do a deep dive into what I believe and revisited and scrutinize all of the fear, rhetoric that really had me at a conflict in a crossroad with God. And it showed up in my marriage. Yeah. So loving God and realizing that He loves me helped our relationship. Yeah. So dogma matters, your belief system matters, the culture of in which you grew up in, the belief system, that matters. Right. You got anything you want to add?
I do. What? I'm going to say one more thing. All right. I think something that makes our relationship so beautiful is that neither one of us was upset by the other person becoming free. Instead, we embrace that and we welcome that into the relationship. I think something else that I've noticed in relationships is if one person has the courage to do the work to become free, the other person becomes resentful because they're afraid to take that step to become free. So your freedom reminds them of their bondage. And so then you become a constant reminder of, dang, I'm still in this prison. You over here living your best life. You waking up smiling every day, and I'm over here still down. Freedom is for everybody.
Freedom look good on you.
Okay.
It's like praise.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, baby, I'm so glad I went to therapy. But I'm also glad that I was partnered with someone who encouraged me to go through the process, to get whatever help I needed and whatever that looks like.
You was on my head.
Oh my God.
Hey, you're on my time now.
Well, but it did take time away from you. Yeah. But you were okay with it because you knew it was what I needed to really like heal some really deep places. And I think that you had the revelation of, if she becomes better for herself, that means ultimately she's going to become better for me.
Some stuff needs professional.
Oh, listen.
Some plumbing, some electrical work.
Some things don't need to be tried to, don't.
You can't YouTube it. Yeah, you got to.
I don't want no janky handyman. I want somebody certified.
Come on now, because if it breaks, it's their fault. They got to come out and say,
and it's still under
warranty. We got to go. We got to go. So thank you to every subscriber. Yeah. Please leave a comment, even if they're emojis, but we never can tell how these translate until we talk to like a real person.
That's right.
See someone out in the streets. Yeah. But we're grateful.
We are.
This is our response to what has happened in our relationship. Yeah. So it's not, you can't tell it unless it's good to you.
That's right.
It was good to us.
Yeah. We're a walking miracle, so we're just trying to share what we know.
Come on now.
And what we've experienced. And we are hoping that something that we're saying is helping you, that it's illuminating you, that it's setting you free so that you can thrive in your life as well.
Boom.
And marriage is for
grown folks.
Bye, y'all.